So I want you to just first really just start paying attention to what it is you're saying to yourself and what it feels when you think about your long-term goals. Is it something that kind of makes you nervous? Are you worried about your current strategies, if they're going to get you where you want to go? If you feel like that, you definitely need this challenge this week, because you can't sit around here being afraid to look at it. Like, you're going to wait till you get older and then look at it. It's going to be too late. And I'm telling you, I know. When I first got into insurance back in 2014, I was these same women, so professional, so beautiful, so amazing, so gifted, so all these things, credentials here and there and everywhere, sit on this board and that board, known professionally everywhere, kudos everywhere. Same women, when they sat down thinking they were going to retire, they made multiple six figures. It wasn't just 100,000, multiples of six figures. And they couldn't retire because the little money they had in their 401ks and whatever other investments they had that they didn't really understand, because they too were afraid to look. They thought they were going to retire, and guess what? No, ma'am, you're not going to retire, because you have this amount of money set aside, but you still got a mortgage you got to finish paying. You still have your car note you got to finish paying. You still got these debts from this, that, and the other you still got to finish paying. And so by the time you finish paying those things and you live for a few years or so, you're going to be right back to $0. So y'all got to, are you really ready for that? Why are we not making sure that we are adequately covered and protected with all of these things that we wake up and we grind and hustle for? And some of us are still working while growing businesses. And some of us are wanting to get out of work so that we can focus on the business, or we just want to just figure something out to begin with. But my point is, all of us grumble and grumble about it at some point, what it takes to get out here and get these things that we are acquiring, this lifestyle that we have created. Why are we not making sure we're having conversations and we are having protection that's going to protect our bottom line and our assets? If you had stolen property, did you know that there are some insurances that will cover your stolen property? Yes. Yes, this is why insurance is your best friend, because one of my friends, she lost a pair of Versace shades. She was out of town in a whole nother city in someone else's vehicle. She was able to tap into one of her policies because she had personal property on there, and she was able to get her Versace frames replaced. No problem. This is why insurance is your friend. Second point in this video, as we again asking, you doing a GoFundMe or a fish fry? Which one is it? I hope it's neither, because the fact is that final expenses are going up like everything else. Inflation situation where some of the family members didn't even come to the funeral because they participated in funding the final expenses, which it is what it is. You got to step in and do what you do as a family. But at the same time, how unfair. You need a professional insurance producer. And what I mean by professional is one who is really going to check on you, who's really going to not only just get you a policy, but as they're getting going to your Fifth Thirds and your regions and such. So Varo, not only that, they help you track your credit to help you improve your credit. They help you to also boost up your credit with giving you a secure credit card that you don't have to like work really hard to like put hundreds in. And then they have ridiculous promotions, like you share your affiliate code with 3 people and they'll put $1,000 in your investment account. And they do this kind of thing often. So you want to make sure that you get an Acorns getting some good information for free. Go ahead and pause this video and get you some pen and paper, because I'm now waiting for the ones who are ready to go. For those who are ready to go, let's just keep going. Before I get into sharing that retirement quotient with you, I want to make sure we talk about some stuff that's very important so you can understand why it is imperative that you understand your retirement number. First of all, Looking at the United States as an entire nation again, 50% of Americans approximately are prepared with some type of money in a retirement fund. But guess what? Just because some are doesn't mean that that little bit of money that some have is enough. Because of that 50%, the vast majority of those people only have $100,000 set aside for retirement. Do you know what that means, good people? That most of us are only going to be retiring for 1 year, and then we're going to be right back at work. So we ain't retiring. And we're not going to talk about all of the other political and economic things that are here to feel as if they are disadvantages for us. We're not even going to talk about that today. We're just going to stay focused on what we can do to help ourselves, okay? Because you are your own guarantee. Let me help you to show you to how you can be your own guarantee. Now, the next thing we need to talk about, 80% of what you are currently earning per year is what you are going to need to fund your retirement. Now, that's a very loose way of looking at it. I have a more specific way in just a moment I'm going to share with you. But do know that right now, if you are making about $100,000 per year, you are going to need 70 to 80,000 of those dollars on average to carry you through each year, that amount in every single year of your retirement. Now, the last thing we need to understand, time is your best friend when it comes to stacking money. The more time you have on your side, the more of a friend time is going to feel for you. Time is always your friend, but you just might not have taken advantage of the friendship that time had for you, and that is just what it is. But if you start today, though, you may not have been where you could have been when you started back in your early 20s, maybe, or even in your teens, if you have parents who were forward legacy building and like-minded people. If you had those kind of parents, then you had time. But if not, it's okay. There is still a way for you to get back on track. No worries. Just make sure that you are using time as your friend as best you can. Situation with credit, or interest can work for you and with you, and that's where compounding interest comes in. This is when interest works in the same very way, where it's still giving you more money on the dollar, but instead of you paying more money on the dollar, more dollars are coming back to you. It's that circulation of money. It's that recycling of money. It's that currency of money coming your way, and that's what you want. That's what you want. You want it to keep coming your way and more thereafter. You want it really to be like, oh my God, where's all this money coming from? You want it to come from everywhere. So I'm going to show you how to do that with some compounding interest. The next thing, to get you to understand how compounding interest works a little bit further, I want you to understand a concept that is known in the financial services industry as a whole, called the Rule of 72. The Rule of 72 helps you to understand how compounding interest is working in your favor, or if it's not working in your favor, and at which rate it's going. Let's use a simple example here I've written down, because my math is not my strongest suit. I got to write all my math out. But let's say here, with the Rule of 72, we have a 6% interest rate. All right? The Rule of 72 says that we divide the number 72 by the percentage rate, which in this case it is 6%. And that will let us know how much or how quickly that money has the ability to double. So if we do 72, the Rule of 72, divide that by 6%, that's going to give us 12 years. Every 12 years, if we are putting 6% interest on the money, every 12 years, the amount of money that it is going to double. So if it's $100 and it has 6% interest on it, after 12 years, that $100 will make another make it to $200. It'll be a total of $200. Say you had $200, you did the Rule of 72 with this 6%. After 12 years, that $200 will become $400. And the same thing is true when it comes to credit for compounding interest. If you are paying 6% interest on something for 12 years, then you are going to have the amount of whatever it is you pay for. You're going to help them to get double that money after 12 years. So we need to think about compounding interest when it comes to both situations. Are we using it to help us, or are we using it to hurt us?